What's up, guys? Good morning, and we're looping back around to the guard position, but today we're going to be doing it from the other side, the other angle. Yeah, that's right. We're looking at left guards, and some of you are probably thinking, well, obviously we've got the left guard position pretty well handled with Damien Lewis, and you're right. Damien Lewis had a really good 2022. It was probably the best season of his career, and that includes his rookie year when he was playing right guard. So, obviously, there are a lot of people out there who still talk about Damien Lewis saying, oh, we should move him back to right guard. But after the season he just had, where he played really well, I'm not going to say he played great, but he actually came closer to great than I think some people are aware of. I think he's pretty well firmly rooted there. So, at the end of the day, he's young, he's playing on a rookie contract for one more year, and it seems like he's at the very least a good player there. So I think we're good there. So I'm not talking about a new starter. Now, I will say this. Damien Lewis, free agent next year. We could move on from him. I mean, left guards, good left guards can command a big salary. We've seen this with Quentin Nelson, and I don't think Damien Lewis is ever going to want Quentin Nelson money, but he could want a lot of money. So I wouldn't be shocked if we moved off of him and brought in another left guard to start that's a little more of a style match with Waldron and this offense. But for the moment, I think we're just best off sticking with Damien Lewis as the starting left guard for 2022. Let me establish that. So we're not talking about a starting left guard. We're talking about a reserve, a bench, a backup left guard. So as of right now, the Seahawks roster, you've got two guards under contract. You've got Damien Lewis, who, like I said, is going to start at left guard. And then you've got Gabe Jackson, who is right now the starting right guard, but I think that he's going to get released and we're going to replace him with somebody else, a rookie, a free agent, whatever. Now, we can bring back Phil Haynes, and if we bring back Phil Haynes, that's a guy who can play both the left side and the right side with varying levels of competency. He's pretty good at being able to play both sides of the guard spot. But beyond Phil Haynes, I want to explore some other options at the left guard position. For all we know, it's at least possible, and I'm not in love with this, but it's possible that Phil Haynes comes back to start at right guard. If that's the case, then you need somebody else to be your backup left guard. So I found a series of interesting options. Let's go through them. A couple of these guys are going to be like veterans who have been in the league for a while, have been very good players, but are clearly approaching the end of days and probably at this point don't need to be much more than like either backups or guys who are competing for starting spots just to stay in the league, like Justin Pugh. And he's the first guy we're going to visit here. Justin Pugh's had a pretty good career. He's been on a couple different teams. He's been a very good player relatively recently even. Like even in 2021, he was actually pretty good. Played over 800 snaps, had good all-around grades. But in 2022, he didn't play that much. He only played 263 snaps, so like a quarter of the season. And his grades were like barely passable. So Justin Pugh clearly close to the end of his career. 32 and a half. He's going to be 33 before the season starts. Already showing major signs of slippage in his play. I'm not seeing a whole lot of interest in Justin Pugh. Now, SPO Track is giving him a lot of credit here. They're giving him 2 years, $11.2 million. I don't think that's the case at all. He had a not very good year. He only played about a quarter of the year. I don't see who's giving him a significant amount of money. I don't see who's giving him multiple years. I think Justin Pugh might get like 1 year, $3 million at most. I think more realistically might even be 1 year, $2 million. Would I be willing to do that? Yeah, I think so. I might even be willing to go 1 year, $3 million for a reliable veteran left guard backup. Left guard's an important position. And in that similar vein here, we have Roger Saffold, who kind of is in a similar position. Somewhat, anyway. He's even older, though. He's going to turn 35 before the season starts. He's been around even a little bit longer than Justin Pugh. Also, formerly a very high pick. And he's coming off a year where, I mean, he played a lot. But did he play well? It doesn't really look like it, right? And you go back to a previous year, you can see that he has had good years recently, but his age and the miles on his body are clearly starting to add up. So Roger Saffold very clearly entering the final phase of his career. And once again, I have to object to SPO Track here. They think he's going to get $5.5 million. I don't understand who's going to give him $5.5 million when, I mean, he's going to be 35 before the season starts. He already had a bad year last year. Like, I don't know who's supposed to give him, like, starter or borderline starter money. I could be wrong. He might get paid based off reputation. He might get paid based off, something else that I'm just not seeing. But if he wants to stay around in this league, I think 1 year, $3 million is about the ceiling. And I might be willing to go after him if he's in that area. 1 year, 2.5, 1 year, 3. Sounds about right. All right, so those are the two guys who are going to get a decent amount of attention this upcoming offseason in terms of left guards who are like old, over the hill, well past their prime, but might have a little bit left to give in a more reserve, backup type role. A few more names here. We have Ike Bettiger of the most recently the Buffalo Bills. Basically didn't play in 2022, but you go back to some of his previous seasons, he was decent as a left guard in 2021, and then combining that decent level of play with the fact that he didn't play in 2022 at all, you should be talking about a relatively cheap player here. I think that I'm probably mispronouncing the last name. I'm going to say Ike Bettiger, but that's probably not it. I'm aware. Might be a vetmin player. He might get a 1 year vetmin deal. And, I mean, when you look at the way he played in 2021, competent level play at left guard, yeah, I'll spend the vetmin on a guy like this. So guys like this, and this goes for pretty much everybody I'm going to talk about in the rest of this video, kind of dime a dozen, but you just have to find the guy that fits your system, does the things that you want a left guard to do in your offense, and then you just roll with it. So Ike Bettiger, he's relatively young, 28. He's going to turn 29 in the middle of the season next year. So you could even give him a multi-year deal if he wants something more like 2 years, $4 million, and I think that's fine. Similar position would be Elijah Wilkinson of the, I believe, Falcons. He's just recently actually turned 28, so age is good. He gave a pretty good year for the Falcons at left guard in 2022. Played over 550 snaps and turned in pretty decent grades. Now you go back to the previous year, he played a lot less. He actually was playing tackle the previous year. Still played okay. So you've got a little bit of versatility here. Of course, you go back to 2020, he's playing right tackle and not playing so well. So he's a guard, and that's the position he should be playing going forward. But when he was allowed to actually play left guard full time, the results were decent. So I don't see anything here that indicates to me he's going to get a big payday. I don't see anything here that tells me, oh, this guy definitely needs to be a starter. He could definitely be willing to join a team to be a piece of quality depth. Now, he is entering what should be his prime, so it's possible that he wouldn't bite on an opportunity to be a pretty much guaranteed backup, which he would be here at left guard at least. But maybe it's a situation where you bring him in to compete for the right guard spot, and if he doesn't win it, he becomes the left guard backup. While it's not a perfect transition from left to right or right to left, you can do things like that with your reserve players. All right, another name I want to take a look at here would be Max Garcia. He's been around the league for a while. He's getting up there in years. He's going to turn 32 mid-season this upcoming year. He played left guard and right guard in 2022, and he played not good but not terrible. One of those players. Just, he's kind of hanging around there. He's not awful, but you wish he was a little bit better. The year before, kind of the same stuff, playing some center, some right guard. So a little bit of positional versatility here with this guy, which I like. Year before, he barely played, and what he did play was at left guard. So this is the kind of guy who just kind of hangs around the league forever, never really plays well, but plays competently enough to stick around, and you can get him for the veteran minimum, and he can be a perfectly adequate backup. So Max Garcia, 1 year, what's the vet min for a guy like him? It would be like 1.2, 1.3 million. So, yeah. At the end of the day, we can only spend so much money at these positions. So if you do end up needing to go vet min, Max Garcia would be perfectly fine to do that with. Another name would be Michael Schofield III. He kind of caught my attention a little bit. He's a little bit lighter than some of these other left guards, which I like. He's barely 300 pounds. I believe he can move a little bit better than some of these other guys. He's getting up there in years. He's about to turn 33. But he played both guard positions in 2022 quite well, actually. So this might be like a 1 year $2 million or 1 year $2.5 million type deal. And given the fact that he's established the ability to play both guard positions at least, decently, competently, he provides depth at 2 positions for you. And I think this is the most intriguing thing, might have the mobility to be a move guard. Now, of course, if we sign him, we're hoping we don't have to play him very much, but I am thinking about that as I'm looking at some of these names, because I'm aware that while Damien Lewis has proven to be a very good player at left guard, he doesn't really fit the Waldron offense, I don't think. And one final name here, this one's kind of intriguing one to me, David Edwards. He didn't play that much in 2022, and when he did play, it was not great results. Not terrible, though. But the previous year, he gave over 1,000 snaps of quality play at left guard. And the year before that, he gave you over 1,000 snaps of quality play at left guard. So I'm not sure exactly what happened in 2022, where he just didn't play that much, and when he did play, his play took a big dive. But it's possible that this is a quality player who just had a bad year, and it's going to kill his market value because it just so happened to be a contract year. So this might be an opportunity to get a guy who's even better than a backup. And hey, if you have the opportunity to do something like that, you should probably pursue it. And those are the guys who I'm targeting as a backup left guard in free agency. Let me know if you guys think I missed anybody. Let me know how you guys feel about these guys. See you guys later today. Go Hawks. And that's the look at left guard.